We're going into the pistol round here. First one to get the series off. Not sure if you have game audio on you guys, but things should be kicking off here. Now Global looking to take their talents towards this A side. Two defenders on that A side here from the side of Damwon. And the quick dashing from SK. Rossi gets the opening pick on the UG. And Texture will be able to hold him back for the meantime. Can he find the follow-up? He finds a double. Dashing in the short and he gets that one. Will not be able to get any more as Hellranger and Skills clean up the site.
How did Texture get from backside to short in the blink of an eye? Probably the dash, but that was very quick. I like the positioning. He didn't want to play for Hell because he knew that he was going to get overwhelmed by the rest of the members that Global Esports was just coming in to push. Spike has been planted. Hellranger, more of a crossfirer than anything with the utility, but as his fault line does come back off cooldown, this is where perfectly they'll be able to set up the fight against the retakers. Now, Damwon gonna have to just try to isolate some couple of fights here, all up into the air for Secret, and we'll see if the Secret is out or is it going to be kept, as Skills as well as the Sova will be in this 2 versus 1. He's way out into the open, and you sure be damn well known that he's not gonna be able to clutch that.
Global take the opening round, and this is honestly kind of what I was expecting this series to go, at least at the start, you know. For Global Esports, they're known for being hyper-aggressive. Everybody knows that, and to be quite honest with you, a lot of times in the past, in many tag shooter alike, it can be a sign of a more juvenile strategic team. You know, teams that kind of rely on the fragging capabilities to kind of buy themselves out of situations typically are falling to that because they're not as, I guess, well-versed when it comes to the strategic part of the game, which can throw DK off, right, for a team like Damwon Kia. But how long will that continue to remain true here is really going to be the question for things, as once again, A site looks to be under attack by Global.
Oh, that is a beautiful spray down, mow down by Scrossi as well as Golu. And, well, it's going to be a quick take onto the site itself. It usually, you know, goes to the wayside like that. I think this particular map in general might actually favor Global Esports the most, especially on this first half, just because of, you were mentioning it already, Black. They love to go for such aggressive fights, aggressive takes. And, I mean, Scrossi didn't even need to do that, but he did. And it really shows that VCC be a region of aggressive players.
And, you know, while there are many doubts on if, you know, Global Esports are necessarily as good as they are, at least internationally, when compared to at home, I do think that, oh, geez, SK Rossi, man. I do think that while, you know, Damwon Gaming Kia, they might be the better team, at least on paper and in terms of achievements, I do think that Global Esports matches up versus them quite nicely. I think they actually match up versus DWG better than most teams that we have here in the LCQ, and you can see the full effect of that, especially on this map, as you talked about. Being attackers sided is going to help with that endeavor out even more so that hyper aggression from them can definitely be something that they can really utilize. The question is, as I was kind of expecting, you know, DWG to kind of get off to a slow start here, to be surprised by that aggression, at what point will they catch on, and will they be able to kind of counteract that once they finally get the reads going? That remains to be seen, but finally going into a gun round here, SRI.
You kind of think as defenders with 3 sites, there's a lot of options for, well, the defending team to make do with their strats, but specifically I think with how Damwon have created their roster, their agent selection, they really have to just go for that triple A peak, you know, kind of make sure that you can use the jet dashes and everything to set up. But, and this is my point already, Global Esports kind of figuring this out, immediately go for the B site, and I like this. They still are on a bonus round. They have the Spectres in tow, and making sure that everything is just working up for them is going to be good. That was an amazing flash, but Golu, an amazing sucker, or sorry, Gravity Weller, nonetheless. Jonghai, last person standing, and Global Esports, flawless round in the 3rd.
A bit of a Freudian slip there, a Freudian slip, SRI, but I mean, you were right on the money. Very, very nicely done on that Gravity Well to really pull him on in. You can see that if it wasn't there, honestly, that probably would have been a wipe coming from DK here, coming from Damwon Kia. It would have been a very difficult situation for Global to kind of counteract, but they get the round, they go for B, which is, I think, quite recommended, especially with the weaponry that they had in their hands, and now they're up 3 rounds, looking to potentially take a 4th, especially on this anti-eco. So DK, they really will struggle at the start because they have shown that propensity to really struggle against very aggressive teams like F4Q, as the panel pointed out, but at some point, they will continue to catch on, and we're going to have to see that come alive here, especially on Haven.
Those are like 100 shots and just one of them connected onto skills. But maybe that's enough. Something that also maybe would have wanted to point it out as well, you know, before we did start this match, while we were still kind of preparing for the first round to begin, is I feel like Damwon, being inexperienced with the global scene, might be more structured to fight against structured play. And I think the panel also brushed up on this, where F4Q is all about that aggressive style of play, which always catches you off guard. And global esports being from India, and we know we've casted in India. Me and Elu have done that as well in other FPS titles, and we just know that Indian players are very, very aggressive. Or VCC in general. It's not only India, but also a couple of other regions that are encompassed in that particular VCC format. But anyways, Texture gonna have to get out of harm's way, and we'll see if the Sheriff. Never mind.
Okay, looking pretty rough here for Texture, but SK Rossi opens things up now on this A side. Hellranger has been instrumental in the success here of the global esports squad in the VCC, and they're looking to continue that here in the LCQ as SK Rossi finds a second shut down by Zhongyi, but at this point, it's an anti-eco retake. The luck is against you, and honestly, every single facet is working up away from you, as Kappa will get that kill. Very nice name from him, as Global get a 4th round, and they're looking to extend this even further. You touched it right on the nose there, I think, Asarai, where DWG, they are more geared towards fighting, you know, structured teams, and that's not to say that Global isn't a structured team, but they are arguably less so than a lot of the Korean teams that we have, you know, from the Korean region, and it does really play dividends and honestly gives a lot of benefit for Global for them to be playing against DWG Kia as their opening series.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it from that perspective, it's more of like they just know what the setups are. They read their opponents already, and again, Damwon, they're a team that just knows how to play against teams in their own region. But if you look at their entire match history and all of that good statistical stuff, they haven't really had any experience with other regions compared to Global Esports, who's actually fought people from Indonesia, from Singapore. It's very easy for them to figure out the name of the game, at least in Southeast Asia. Maybe not in Korea, but I mean, at least they have that propensity to know the adaptability. And I feel like even if they don't make use of that, they still have the layout of Haven, which really prefers, or I think benefits SK Rossi's playstyle. And maybe moving forward, that's something that they can use to close off. Of course, still we are pretty early here, but a 4-0 is still something that's very much difficult to kind of digest if you are a Damwon fan.
I mean, you guys have to remember that VCC has a lot of different regions in that of itself. You got Nepal, you got Sri Lanka, Maldives, Bangladesh, Pakistan, lots of very big regions, and so they are very experienced in these type of fights, and Hellranger will continue to rain hell here now on the C site this time after that breach comes on in. They now have the site fully taken, given away here by DK. They know DWG Kia, they cannot continue to contest this, so the retake is going to have to come in from them. Not a single ultimate up online as we're in round 5 already here for Damwon, and this is not looking too good for them, especially after the opening pick found here by Global.
It's all about that retake. Cloudburst comes in, gives a bit of solace for Texture, but the crossfire good with Golu and his teammate. They know he's in the back of the site. They're making some damage happen. Okay, they're kind of thinned down the herd, but the big problem is there is going to be Hellranger plus Kappa, who is holding this nice little hallway down on C Long. They're popping shots, they're hearing it, but they're seeing the peaks and nobody is on the spike. And this is why Global Esports chose that location. The post plan too good for those at Long.
Yeah, they didn't even have, you know, shock darts or anything to force them off to the plant utility-wise, because they don't need to. They know they can buy their time, wait for the defuse stick to come on in. There's no smokes on the side of Damwon to be able to, you know, block off that angle, and you just get the shots going. Global, 5-0, very impressive from them. And while, you know, most players or people in general will kind of rank Damwon Gaming Kia above Global, I really do think, and as I said a while ago, that this is a very good matchup for Global, especially to start the LCQ off.
Now I gotta put my 2 cents as well on the agent select, or not the agent select, but the map select overall. Yeah. I feel like it really favors Global Esports, because I think that they're a team that might just want to always play in tighter corners, and it kind of shows, especially with Hellranger being very, very good on his breach. And as I mentioned, Caster's Curse, always a fair mistress. Texture's going to be able to hit a couple of shots. Right click will not be able to refresh because it doesn't get a kill, and obviously this newest patch. Golu's going to have to go in wild, and SK Rossi, what are you doing, man? Just walk straight up. Doesn't get the right click, granted, but the balls, the steeliness of SK Rossi. Still, though, in the end, it's going to be Damwon with the first round of this first half.
I mean, you love to see it. That's where he's made his money. That's where he's made his name, right? On those hyper-aggressive plays. But at some point, as I talked about, at some point, Korean teams, they're really good at getting these reads halfway through. Like a well-trained boxer, like Floyd Money Mayweather, you know? You give them those opening rounds, and then they start to get that read, and suddenly the defense is impenetrable. And it could be a starting point here for Damwon to get back into the game after winning that thrifty round from them. Who knows? This could be the beginning of where Damwon can make this a series.
Damwon's making some work on the A side. Nobody clears A short for some reason. I mean, they did for one round, but not really anymore. Setups on the Astra is good to block the vision, but not really block the bullets. And Hellranger, he's got to be careful in trying to plant the spike down, as there is the Hunter's Fury trying to tag him in. Yeah, he might not kill him on that third one, but he's got to be careful, as someone might actually come in and just spray mow him down. 5-1, 1 minute. There's time to breathe. SK Rossi, he's heard a Cypher Cam, so what's the adjustment here? Seems like just gonna wait a little bit, as now his location has been exposed, and I just have no idea what happened.
This is where things are going to come down to the wire, and you look at this. Damwon, they just clean up house, and this is where really I think the big difference is made between these two teams. Yes, Global, they've got that mechanics, they've got the aim to win the fights, but the utility usage is where Damwon are going to be much more, I guess, kind of prepared and just more proficient at it. Honestly, that Cosmic Divide, it did kind of bite Global in the back. That was their own Cosmic Divide, but I do think it worked against them. As soon as they placed it down, it actually gave free control of the backside for Damwon and let them come in from the links freely and uncontested. At that point, they had a free staging ground to submit, or rather, to start that execute off. So, for a team like Damwon Gaming, you can't give them these opportunities, man. You mess up with your utility, they're going to punish you for that.
They definitely will. It's something that I think you just have to respect a little bit more here and try to play around. But at least for now, they're probably not going to go for B side any longer. Eugene, he's all but abandoned the A. He's going to be playing on Heaven here, but you can see on the map, there is 3 members of Global that is just hovering on short, and as they hear that there is going to be that drone utilized, they just go and quickly charge into the site. Eugene's going to have to back away for the moment, but he's already done some damage. He's kind of forced the spike to be planted on the God spot, but this could actually help out Global Esports, who is looking to delay it even further with a Killjoy ultimate being active right now. This is going to buy so much time, and Damwon, they're going to be left scratching their heads what they're going to have to do after the duration of that ultimate. Yeah, the smokes are going to keep him at bay as well. No more shock darts here to destroy that, but the recon bolt is up online. Information to be given away, but that aftershock is going to be huge. Jiang he finds that kill here. SK Rossi, big player to get taken down. Golu's able to find one on the Eugene, and he's going to find a second. Global Esports completely rounding this out, and Damwon are going to give it up. They're going to go and save the weapons as Global take a 6th round on the board here right now. Very nicely done, but at what cost? They used a bunch of ultimates to get that round, and to be quite honest with you, if it weren't for that final flurry of frags, it could have went the other way, but nicely done from Global to get them that 4-round lead back up once again. I would actually beg to differ on that. I feel like because of the use of the ultimates, it might have given Global Esports a bit of time to take a breath and actually be prepared for that push stack that Damwon were doing. We didn't see anybody from Damwon actually go for the flank. I think there was Kappa as well as Skills that was looking onto it both on short and long of A, and that just gave all the necessary info, I think, for Global just to kind of mentally prepare themselves and positionally also prepare themselves. So I think it works out in the end. Still, granted, it was a lot, but if the end duration or the end result is that 6-2 scoreline, count me in.
Well, that is true. At least you do get the round off of it. But on the other flip side of things, I'm thinking, Damwon, that's exactly what they wanted. Okay, use your ultimates on a round that we don't have ultimates anyway, so that we can actually start to get our economy just a few rounds before you do. But the thing is, Damwon, because of the rounds that they've been giving away, they're not really that close to getting the high impact ultimates up. The only thing that's relatively close to getting there is that neural theft from Cypher on intro. And Eugene, he's what, like 4 points away for ultimate abilities, charges rather, away from that ability. And it's going to be quite a bit of time before he gets up online. The Rolling Thunder is almost going to come up here from Hellraiser, and as well as the Hunter's Fury coming up now here under Sova. And that's going to be something that they're going to have to deal with. Mind you guys, Haven, attacker-side map. So this is kind of favoring Global, especially with their hyper-aggressive play. This is how you kind of want to play Haven a lot of the times. And we're seeing here that Damwon, they're just not prepared to counteract what Global are doing right now.
And I mean, you kind of brushed up. You're actually not kind of, but you brushed up on the fact already that it's not really very easy for Damwon to kind of adjust to this. They had 2 rounds, yes, and it looked actually quite marvelous, but to be frank about it, I think it was just Global Esports having a bit of hiccups here and there with how they take the sites. They have basically trialed all 3 sites in Haven and have successful percentages all throughout of it. Whether it's SK Rossi always starting off or Damwon always looking to play that retake style. And yes, it kind of works, but when you're left in a 5v5 retake as defenders in Haven, I feel like there's just too many crossfires for you to deal with, right? And that doesn't really leave much for you to try to react on when your opponents are as good as you, or maybe even better. So I think the only reason why Damwon was able to get these 2 rounds overall, Black, is, well, they just caught people in transition, you know, trying to set up for that post plan, and then Damwon just had the numbers advantage. So, I mean, looking at it from just such a general standpoint, it seems like Damwon have to get picks before they even get pushed. So maybe Texture has to whip out an operator here. I feel like Haven is a really good operator map, especially when you're playing as a Jet. So maybe we'll see that, but at least for now, probably not, because he's rocking a fan.
I mean, the A site is notoriously hard to retake, right? And you can see the full effect of that. The lockdown here coming from Global, not the ultimate, but just, you know, the post-plan lockdown that they've got has been completely seemingly impenetrable for the meantime, at least here in the A site. Damwon have yet to actually been able to successfully and decisively take that against them. And so we're now finally getting into the round. As he talked on it, you know, Operator was looking to maybe come out here in Texture, but he does go for the Phantom this time. Secret, they're playing this really deep in the sewers, could potentially pull them down into the dumpster. The only player near him there, of course, is that Sova here coming from the side of Global. Aldrone shall be denied. They got the pop flash ready to potentially make a play, and that they could maybe do here. Okay, that shock dart is going to land perfectly and doing so much damage here onto him, and now Secret's going to have to fall back as Zhang Hai taken out, trade here by SK Rossi.
Rossi, he was cycling weapons. Oh, no.
Bad habit.
You do not do that to intro. You just do not. And
Oh!
intro. He
The
has the
timing!
angle. I don't know, man. There have been some rounds where, due to timing, they have just lost their lives. But, I mean, it won't be too hard of retake here, I'd say, especially when Golu's been knocked off his block with that stun from the Trailblazer. And that is going to be a perfect retake for Damwon. That was incredibly awkward on both sides. But as dust settles, yeah, it's Damwon to take the round.
Team Ace, teamwork makes the dream work here for Damwon, and they've halved this lead now, 6-3, round number 10 coming on in, and you can see that on the scoreboard here, it's a much more spread out endeavor from the side of Damwon. Not to say that Global is looking top heavy right now, but I mean, Hellranger and SK Rossi doing lots of work, and speak of the devil, the latter here pulling out the operator in his hands, looking to maybe get a peek here onto C-Long, but you know, Damwon, they've been ready for this. The operator from the start, like, they're not really deep peeking in a C-Long. They really like to play that back of the site, maybe have the Cypher help out. So I'm not sure how much value this will find early on here on C, but it remains to be seen how that will continue to progress.
SK Rossi, he's got out the operator. I was wondering if it's going to be the defenders to kind of buy first the sniper gun, or the sniper rifle, excuse me, but it feels like, or it looks like it's not going to be the case. Nitro, or excuse me, not Nitro, but Intro. Bit of an anagram. He's going to be rocking that Odin for the moment, and I kind of do like this. There's a lot of angles in Haven where Odin's penetration really does hit its mark. And when you have opponents that are just going to be flooding in, it seems like a pretty good suppression tool to look at how, again, Global Esports just likes to flood into the site.
I mean, there's a reason why the LMG is one of the most feared weapons in a battlefield, and against a full squad rush, who knows, it might just be what you need. That belt-fed action could potentially shred Damwon down. But here comes a Rolling Thunder, going to bring the storm, but nobody really getting hit by that. They've given up the site, looking to play retake here. Damwon knows that they cannot fully take this, up ahead and just hold and anchor the site. So the retake is going to have to come to happen. But it's been very difficult for them to actually retake the site here. Eugene, though, finds an opening pick, and that is huge for them to find skills. Now they could potentially flood this site, dropping down SK Rossi, finding one with a double trade. Here comes from Intro. He finds a double kill. SK Rossi finding a double of his own, and they will be able to shut him down. The triple kill now for SK Rossi. Intro with the triple of his own. He has the Odin in hand, could potentially lay the smackdown on them with this big LMG. But it's down to SK Rossi versus Intro. Here comes now the neural theft. Then he peeks, and he gets the clutch as well. Intro, a 4K for him, and the 4th round for Damwon.
That is the penetration nation that the Odin gives you. No amount of walls, thin walls, can protect you from this man's aim and his ferocity with the LMG. Aside from that, though, you could just see how well it works. You think that that tiny little box in the center of A site is going to help you? No, you are sorely mistaken, good sir. And Damwon, slowly but surely, they're picking back up the pieces. Yes, there were some kills that SK Rossi was bringing into the fray, but when you're in that close proximity to each other, and he's the only one who's actually getting the frags needed, Global Esports, it was just a matter of time before somebody from Damwon came in and cleaned up at the rest. Now, Jong Hai is going to be able to spot a full force of the brunt of the members here, and oh, that was a gravity well! SK Rossi was supposed to go for the punish, but Jong Hee, even through the utilities that being thrown his way, he sets it up perfectly, and Secret gobbles up all of the rest. Now we're left to Kappa and Skills for the clutch.
Dude, Jong Hee was dead to rights, but the perfect helping from Secret there on Garage was instrumental. He got the triple kill because of the crossfire, and if Secret was not in Garage, by all means, Jong Hee, he would have been dead. Like, simple. The dash-in would have worked in. He was pulled, he was stunned with the breach, he was flashed twice. There's no way he's going to survive that, but because of the teamwork, because of the help here by Secret, perfect supporting play, and this is where they really separate themselves. Global, a lot of the times, they got flashy plays, they have individual plays, which is a really nice way to win some rounds, a really nice way to win a map, but not the most consistent way to win a series. And Damwon, they're not about that. They're about the teamwork, they're a full 5-man roster, and let's see now if this will be able to get them the tie at the end of the half.
SK Rossi, he's kind of threading on thin ice here. Getting double pinged by the recon is going to be quite brutal for him. Texture's been tagged down, knocked away. Site's still open, but Eugene is holding a nice little angle here. The stun will connect. Never mind. It was just a pixel angle for him. There's a tiny bit on Graffiti that kept him safe. And now he has Intro here with him to seal up the rest. Actually, everybody from Damwon has joined the party, has joined the fight. And it's a 2 versus 4 smackdown between Global. This smoke creates some smoke criminal placements from Golu, and we'll see if he can make this happen. He's severely outnumbered here, Black, but he's created some space on Long, and he does have the spike in hand. But he seems to want to fight for the A side, not go to anywhere else. And well, as the dust settles, that's going to be a 6-6 with Damwon claiming back and equalizing against Global.
I mean, this is kind of what we expected, at least on my part. We talked about earlier on that we're fully expecting Global to come out with a big lead, to get off and, start sprinting at the start of it. But as Rocky likes to say, it's not about how hard you get hit, but it's about how you get up after getting hit and keep on doing that on over. You might not throw the first punch, but definitely be the one to throw the last. And, Damwon, they're looking to do exactly that here. They finally started to read how they like to play, how the Global side likes to play. You can see them playing a lot more back, and sometimes maybe having that one push off there on A main, have that forward position, but fall back immediately, play the retakes, and that they are so good at. Utilities here coming from Global, that small mishap on the Graffiti side, on the wall side, was more than enough for Damwon to punish, and this is what they're really good at. Kind of dip their toes in just a bit, let them make a mistake, and then punish that fully. They don't have to make the initiative every single time, but when they do, they convert.
It feels like there should be just 2 ways of playing Haven as defenders, right? Where you either fight as they come in, or you fight after they've come in. But seems like Damwon, they found somewhere in between that. and it works incredibly well. They have a little bit of contact. Yes, they might lose a player or two, but this immediately gives them the information that their teammates can come in and start rotating. Speaking of coming in, it's going to be DK's Texture, who just comes through the crossfire, the crosshairs of Kappa, and he's able to pick up 2. And Intro been tagged down to 34. Not looking too fancy here for Damwon, as they've been kind of relegated to now just play around their own side of the map. But the problem here is Skills. Yeah, he's holding an angle. He's going to be able to catch us off mid. Just look to the left, brother, and yeah, there it is. Wait. Oh no, classic whiffs.
Oh no. The classic, sometimes it's a laser, other times it's a pea shooter. In this case, the latter falls true, but he's able to get the kill here on Zhang Yi. He knows that the rest is here towards mid and global. This should be a pistol round for them. Very off-kilter, off kind of positioning. They're coming from Kappa to get a double, and it was more than enough to dissuade here Damwon for continuing on to A. And that was a pistol round that they needed so much, especially when their second half of that opening half was kind of looking a bit shaky. They do get this pistol, and this maybe re-stabilize them on the defensive side.
Kappa definitely the MVP of the round, dude. You kind of have to feel for people who have like such a perfect shot, but because it's the classic that you have in your hand, it takes you for a ride. It's basically that bull machine that you try to ride, right, and try to impress your friends, or maybe a potential people
Suitor.
to party with, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I've never tried, but I've only seen it in the movies. But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
of course. I'm
the-
that much of a shut-in.
The rodeo machine thing, yeah. The one that
Yeah, exactly.
takes you for a loop. Classic take the wheel. In this case, Golu just shredding them down. The garage is where they're going to be parking, and turn off the engines as well. 8-6. Global take that anti-eco very swift fashion, but now let's get on to the gun round. This is where, Damwon can start to make this comeback happen. It's only a 2-round lead, and we know that Haven is an attacker-sided map, but with a team that isn't as aggressive as Global, can they actually kind of get the same sort of success that Global had in the earlier rounds there in the first half, or will this be a continuing runaway kind of side for Global? Remains to be seen. They have rifles now, but we know that Global likes to close that gap. Even though they have SMGs, they can get in close and cause some chaos.
They might try to do that. I mean, it's the way to go, right? At least because they do have the Cypher, they don't really have to worry too much about lurkers, and that might allow them to go for a full 5 push into any site that they probably want, considering where they put these tripwires and whatnot. It really does give that flexibility, I would say, for Damwon. Now, for the moment, we do have, of course, technical pause. It is what it is. Global Esports here, I'm wondering how they're going to be setting up now on defense when they know that the opponents, as you mentioned, is now going for a buy round. Will they try to do the same thing where they have like a triple stack on A, the kind of default play, or will they try to go aggressive on mid, on window? I think the mid one might be better because you basically have a lot of opportunities to get that shock and awe. Maybe with the Spectres, it might not be as proficient or as potent, but could be something. Or are they just going to go for a very, very passive play and go for that retake? I'm not big of a fan of the third one. The second option looking mighty fine to me. But what do you think, Black?
I think knowing Global, they're very aggressive. You see that on the pistol round, right? Taking very forward positions. Who would expect Kappa as a Sova to be there, right? You see the Jet in sewers. You have to assume that, okay, since SK Rossi's there, maybe the only other player who could be really this close would be kind of a flasher, but no. I mean, Sova on Kappa, just more than enough for him to get that, those doubles. And as we move back to our ugly smugs, our ugly faces here, we are going to be waiting for the game to continue on. Obviously, online tournament nature of the beast. Sometimes you have these tech pauses, and we'll come back to that shortly. But for the meantime, Global, this is a really good showing from them. We talked about this is a pretty good matchup from them as well to go up against a team that is not too, good, to say the very least, when it comes to facing aggressive teams. But there are great teams strategically down one. It's just that they struggle against very aggressive teams, such as F4Q and such as Global right now in the map pick. We talked about it. It's kind of favoring Global as well. But everything else aside, they bring it on a really impressive show.
They are. And I was completely caught off guard, as you can see. I was muddling something with my hands. But yeah. I totally agree with the points that you kind of made there. It seems like Damwon were getting caught pretty much unawares for a lot of these, consecutive rounds. But I also want to point out the thing that I feel like Damwon has proven themselves a team that is very slow to start, but also immediately understands what they have to do after maybe losing or winning, or at least having a couple more rounds in their belt when they're up against a team. And it's starting to show a little bit here with how we went for that 6-6 in the first half, excuse me. So maybe in the second half, it would maybe look something similar to that. Now, Global Esports, we know they're a team that's very aggressive. They like to go for that aggressive map control. So maybe this could be a kind of clash of contrast plays. And I'm very, very, very curious how this could happen, because not only is this, again, kind of a showcase for us what the VCC region has to offer, but in a sense, it also could create the first rivalry between these two particular regions. Again, Korea, we already know they're a fantastic region when it comes to esports. They've been doing it since early 2000s, maybe
Forever.
even the late
They
90s.
started
Forever.
esports, dude.
Exactly. You've seen the memes, right? When you're gonna try to maybe date somebody from Korea, you always have to fight their dad that's good in that one RTS game. Right.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
but again, I'm getting too far from the point here. But I just wanted to say is, again, this is also a proving ground for the VCC region to try to hold their own against a master region in terms of esports. Of course, it might not be that big of a gap going into Valorant esports, but it is something that I'm very much curious of, because again, they're kind of establishing that VCC as a region, or at least for global esports coming in from India as a region, is not only known for, let's say, like their mobile esports. Their PC esports also is clapping, or do the kids use it right? Clapping means good, right?
Yeah, clap.
Yeah,
You clap
so it's
for 'em.
clapping. There you go.
You clap in cheeks. But nowadays,
Yeah.
maybe not RTS, but nowadays, I guess the more apt one, more modern, updated one would be kind of having to go through their brother who's really, really good at League. Like nowadays, that's what you're gonna have to
True.
kind of deal with. But I mean,
Actually.
Korea, they're a great scene, and we know that the whole, I guess, VCC scene is great as well in this case. For global, they're coming mostly from India for the most part, and we're gonna finally get into that game. We talked about how sometimes hyper-aggression is a sign of kind of more callow scenes that are kind of newer in terms of, or rather maybe a bit more juvenile in terms of the strategy. So they try and make up for it with mechanical play, with outplays, with individual plays, and just pure out fragging. And to be fair, Global are really good at that. One of the best teams at doing exactly that. But we also talked about that one. This is honestly, once again, a really good matchup for them. We're not taking anything away from Global, but that is a factor that we have to consider. The panel touched on it as well, where F4Q are really good against Damwon, even though for most parts, Damwon are the higher tier team, even though they haven't made it internationally. They're strategically and on paper a better team, but the thing is, the results haven't been coming their way. They might be good on paper, but at the end of the day, you need the win. And if you cannot get the win, there's no excuses, and you cannot really throw anything else away. So for Global here right now, very good showing for them. Very good kind of coming out party for VCC as a whole. Once again, guys, this is the first time they faced teams from other regions, pretty much, like from Korean teams to teams from Southeast Asia, at least officially in the official circuit. This is their first time doing that, and they're really proving and making the case for the VCC to be one of the major regions here in APAC.
Establishing themselves as a major region in APAC. That is, I think, a fantastic story to tell your kids, right? Tell your grandkids. Once you're like, a little bit gray and old, you're like, oh, young whippersnapper. When I was your age, I was in APAC LCQ, and we made fantastic strides for VCC or for Korea. That's a thing that I think is fantastic to kind of point out here. Now, again, we're still kind of muddling through the technical pause here, so we're talking about random things and all of that. Also, I do wanted to, I guess, also point this out. It's already in the name, Last Chance Qualifiers, but this really is that for these particular teams who might have struggled in their own respective tournaments, not able to get the opportunity that they got. But this is really that for every single one of them. And I think it's heavier for some teams than it is for the others, but they definitely do have a really big stake into this. You might think that it's just something that, it doesn't really matter for them, but it really does, because it leads to that one big tournament at the end of the year that we're all looking for, that we all want to be able to witness these teams play into it, which is Valorant Champions. Now, We're going to go off of that pause now and start to resume looking into the buys once again. SK Rossi, he's brought the operator. Oh, doggy. And look at that, Black. Triple, maybe even quadra stack on mid. That was right.
All right, party time here coming in from Global. They're looking to make a play. And can Damwon do something about it? Can they counteract this? SK Rossi, an opening pick from him early. Let's cut on over to mid because that's where all the action is happening here now. Eugene goes down, and they're continuing to aggress down that mid. Kappa, the only player here on this A site, and now they're going to pull back after that opening pick. Eugene, as well, as we talked about, caught off guard. And now Damwon go look to slow the pace once more, but I'm not sure if that's what they need to do here. They're pretty spread out. Nobody really playing with each other at the moment. And this does favor Global because now they can isolate the fights, get those 1v1s, which have been very, very good to them.
Oh, intro. He's not looking in the right direction. He's just about to get a surprise. It's not even Christmas, but his opponent is still kind of hovering somewhere underneath window, but there is going to be a window troll. Hiding underneath that, Jonghee as well as Secret, the only two to remain, and they are very, very far from each other with the spike not even in their own vicinity, but Secret, he's hearing a lot of footsteps. One more rotation, and that's going to be it. Oh, he's just about to get caught. Oh, unfortunate. Kappa leaving him there to delay. Really good decision, but Jonghee, yeah, no spike in hand. He's had to pick it up. 20 seconds. I don't think he's going to be able to make this happen.
I don't think so either, and I don't believe that Damwon are playing this right, to be quite honest with you. You give up the opening pick, you're down a man, and then you decide to just split up and continue to fight 1v1s. I mean, at that point, just group up. There's only 4 of you left. Attack a site. Take a site. Just go for it, you know? Pick a site, and it would have been better than what they just did right there. Everybody just taking their own alleyways. I get that they were trying to find a cheeky peek, but you're really rolling the dice on that one, and the luck is not going to favor you. I get that, you know, it can be quite a hasty decision after giving up that opening pick, after losing your, best reconnaissance agent here on Sova on Eugene, but they're kind of misplaying this one, and Global, they're heavily punishing for them. If they take these 1v1 gunfights, it's going to favor Global, who are a great mechanical team and can really win those shots.
Oh my God.
Tagged up leg here by Texture, trying to re-peek, trying to re-dip into that fight, but SK Rossi is keeping them at bay.
Okay, those concusses from the Astra forcing a bit of the mobility here for Texture and maybe even putting him out of a really bad spot. Nobody's going to be holding long now. And SK Rossi, look at this. He has no regard for human life, even his own, as he's out in the open. He's going to get punished for it, but he does have a teammate that is going to be helping him out to clear out on long, as well as deny Texture any form of control to take up on that operator. But as they try to go on short, look immediately how quick Damwon was able to just sneak their way up onto long here. They might not be able to expect this, but Hellranger has an inkling. He spotted it out, and Kappa, now giving that information, will be able to whip these guys down, and now it's up to a 3 versus 4. But again, Jonghee and the rest of Damwon, they do not have the proper weapons to take the A site.
A site here looking impenetrable for the meantime. Global, they're doing a really good job of keeping this eco into, I guess, not the great effect, but Secret, he finds that pickoff. Does eventually get shut down here by Kappa on the back of the site. 3v2 here right now. They could potentially flush him out. He has been pulled by the gravity well, but Skills has got his back, and Kappa gets a third. Damwon now giving up the 10-6, and just 2 rounds away here from Global. Finally have a gun round for Damwon. This is honestly one of their final opportunities to get back into this map.
Global's the elites of this particular series of ours. Damwon, they're kind of struggling. They're trying to pick themselves up, but look at this, Black. For the past 8 rounds, it's been Global. From the first half to the second half, they have not dropped a single beat up against Damwon. Now, DWG, they're going to be calling a timeout here, and yeah, I think this is a very, very, very needed timeout. Maybe even a bit late, but at least now they have some time to muddle things through now that their opponent's 2 digits in terms of rounds.
That's right. I would have thought that, like, during their technical timeout, that would have been enough for them, to maybe get a breather. Now, technically, in technical timeouts, you can't necessarily talk to each other nor talk to your coach, but at least that mental reset is going to be something that I was thinking would favor DK. Damwon, they're a team that likes to play strategically, slower by far than Global, and to get that breather is going to benefit them. But alas, it's not the case. And Global here right now, 4 rounds straight to open up this half is a prospect that Damwon are certainly going to be damned about if they let this continue on further. They got a nice end to the opening half there, Damwon, to tie the game up 6-6, but right now with Global up 4 and 2 away from match point, they have to pull out all the stops, and this could be one of their final opportunities. As I talked about, no operator here coming from the side of Texture. They are on the attacking side, but you're going to have to find some way to deal with SK Rossi, who has an operator in his hands, and he's been completely problematic for the side of Damwon to be able to, stop him from continuing to rain on over this map. And Haven has been a really good map for them. I think the entire kind of map veto, honestly, the full 3 map series that we have right after this, we're going to Ascent, and then after that we're going on a split. So I do think that this does quite favor Global, to be quite honest with you. I'm not sure if this is what Damwon were necessarily going for in terms of what they thought they're going to be playing here, the maps that they're going to be playing against Global. But for us to go Haven, Ascent, and then split at the end, this is really good for Global, and you get those. You take those opportunities given to you. You capitalize on those, and Global are doing a great job at exactly that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude. I 100% agree with you on that one already. I really do feel like this entire map selection of ours for the entirety of this best of 3 heavily flavors.
That's
favors.
tasty.
Yeah. Hey man, Indian food is hella tasty.
Oh no, it is. I love it.
Heck yeah. I want some biryanis, some samosas. What's the super sweet one? The super sweet ball one, that's dipped in syrup. Anyways, I'm going off topic. I'm pretty sure our chat doesn't want to hear us talk about it. Yeah, it's fine. But I really do feel like this really does favor the rest of Global in terms of the map selection. And looking specifically now onto Haven, I also wanted to point out the fact that I feel because, and again, it really is a factor here. Agent selection for Damwon has kind of stopped them from being able to take the site faster than they would probably be able to want to, because they only have that one duelist, right? And that's a great factor in all. The one duelist, they have like 4 utility players, right? Which can set stuff up. But when your opponent is almost basically everywhere, and you're trying to get that information, you're trying to slow pace a game that literally has 3 sites. When you're up against a team like Global Esports, it might not actually just click for you. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why Damwon might be struggling here, because they're trying to set up for Texture. Texture's an amazing player, yes, but he hasn't gotten that ability to just try to rush in through the site because of how counter-aggressive Global Esports have been doing, especially now that SK Rossi is rocking an operator. It becomes even worse. Yeah, they can maybe flash him out, but again, it's very easy to dodge a flash. Just go to a place of cover. After you hear the bird pop, you pick out again, take a shot, and SK Rossi doesn't miss those. It's such a difficult dynamic for Damwon to even try to traverse through.
Well, on to more important topics here. That sweet balls you're talking about is apparently called Gulab Jamun. Yes, there it is. Thank you, director.
Thank you.
Very sweet. Very nice. Good texture on that. But speaking of the devil, he is looking to aggress here on the garage. There is a setup, though, by Global here. In the garage itself, they got a star there to maybe try and suck things over in case Damwon tries to get over aggressive there, and that setup could be detrimental. I think they do have a nano swarm placed on top of it as well to combo with that, and so they're going to have to be very wary of that factor. A minute left on the clock, and it seems like they're looking to potentially split this A site. Kappa, he will get that information as Intro is tagged up with the Al drone. I'm not sure if he saw any more, but if he did, then he would have known that pretty much every single player here from Damwon is towards that A site, and this split could come up huge for them, but they're looking to peek here. They've got the flashes, they've got the breach really up and close, and they're looking to aggress, but Kappa! The triple kill for him! He completely shreds him down on A main, and if it's a slaughter here. Annihilation from the side of Global, and Damwon are shook.
Oh,
30 seconds left.
timing! Just literal timing. Peek out with the flash. They all obviously have to try to go for cover, which is literally the wall on their left, but it's a double-edged sword. You line up with 3 of your teammates, and the spray down with the Phantom is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 12 seconds onto the clock, and Damwon don't give a damn about this round anymore. They're going to be forfeiting it to Global Esports. The slower pace, it seems to might have worked, but I told you, Black, they need that explosiveness, and everybody's setting up
This does not help their case. Global, they're all about the chaos. They're all about those aggressive little micro fights. And even if, yeah, Zhonghe can get those kind of, let's call it exit frags, in the end, it's still 11-6. And Damwon, they have not picked up a round ever since that ninth one on the first half.
Yo, round 17, could we get a replay of that? Because I really want to see how exactly that turned out from the perspective there of Kappa, who just lined everything up. I have to assume that they lined up to get that triple collat and get the triple kill on the spray down, because that was a huge turning point. And now Damwon, they are on the ropes right now. They give up match point. They're going to be poor as hell. Now they have 3 ultimates to use, which could be a turning point for them. But Cosmic Divide and the Rolling Thunder is a single ultimate point away here from Global to get that online. This is looking like a runaway map for them, but this is a final opportunity for Damwon to do something here. Yes, well, they may be damned, because Kappa is looking to shred him apart, although he will not land much. Here comes out the flash, and he's going to fall back into safety.
He got flashed by his own teammate, but
He did.
to be fair, it was to kind of catch Texture as well, as he was looking for the chase. When you know that your Sova or enemy Sova is ulting from that exposed of a position, you just go for it. Speaking of going for it, here comes the double peek once again from Global. They find nobody on long because the trigger has been pulled for that quick rotate onto C. Now, there is going to be Kappa using the drone to make sure that short is squeaky clean, but this is where it becomes very tricky for Damwon. They've all but rotated onto the C site, but they have to peek every single corner. Intro's gone in wild here. They've activated the jellyfishes, and it seems like Damwon, they're making this work. SK Rossi, he only has an operator when everybody's just chiming in on his position, peppering it with bullets, and now, well, Damwon, it seems like they might be able to pick this one back up now that, yeah, it's only Hellranger to remain.
Late round push here works out for Damwon. That's exactly what they needed so desperately. And there should be a 7th round on the board for them. Honestly, this is going to be their first round that they've won this entire half. And Hellranger landing that shot, but the crossfire, not expecting Eugene to be behind him. Finally, Damwon get a round in the second half. And they're going to need a few more of those, but because of the, straight runs that Global have been getting, clean rounds, they have more than enough economy to buy up into this one. I have to believe that they have even more for the next one, if ever it goes that way. Yeah, they actually no. They don't have enough, really, to buy up in the next. They can kind of force some 2 rifles here and there, but I'm not sure if it's going to be completely enough for them. Probably going to force buy, if anything, but Damwon, finally, an opportunity here to get some wind under their wings.
See, are you going to be the wind beneath my wings? SK Rossi, he wants to challenge once again, and he don't miss the second shot. Oh my god, he tracked that through the wall, and well, that says it all. That's gonna be the 11-7. They have taken down 1. There's no Sage for Damwon here, so there's no opportunity to res a teammate. And this is big. Intro's the one to basically kind of cover the lid on the rest of the side here. And SK Rossi, he knew that he was spotted on Garage. It's a common tactic with Jet players, go to a different site. And, well, his read, perfect. And his peak, even more pristine. 3 versus 5 black. And the chances of DWG here, slowly dwindling down after each takedown.
This is not looking too good for them, to say the very least. SK Rossi opened things up, and the Skills chimes in for another frag, and now Damwon down to just 2 players remaining. This is looking like a potential global esports map, and that is certainly looking to be the case as Eugene goes down. It's all on a secret here, and there is nothing, no stones unturned. They know where he is. Smoke will let him get some bit, but they pull it back immediately, giving him a false sense of security, pulling the rug right under his feet, and SK Rossi gets a 3rd in the round. 12-7. Global have match point and potentially map 1.
I'm shuddering in my spot here, not because the AC is like right behind me on full blast, but rather because of how scary global esports is on Haven. They're basically unchained. And when you let the dogs out and stuff, and they just go wildly running around in the park, in the garage, this feels like something like that. And speaking of dogs, well, technically not. Trailblazer is going to be used to take right in, and skills! Oh, the follow-up. Oh, the beauty. Oh, the textures. It's just filling into the server here as Eugene follows it up once more. Damwon, they have just abandoned all hope of going slow into this, but they get knocked hard by Hell Rangers. Still, though, Eugene up and above, up and alive, left to Kappa for the 1 versus 4. What can you do?
They should be able to get this round, but will they be able to get the map? Kappa bring it down to a 1v3. He gets intro, but they now know where he is, and they can set up the crossfire to not enable him to be able to isolate even more fights. He goes for the peek here, and they finally do confirm the kill. 4 rounds that DK Damwon have to come back into versus Global, but will they be able to do it? That remains to be seen. I like what they did there, though, Asarai. You know, playing Global at their own game this time, going very heavy-handed. If you're going to hit them hard, and that's what DK did. Damwon here, that's exactly what they need to continue doing and be more decisive. That initiative they finally took, will it be too little too late? We're going to find out.
Textures has loaded in.
Yes. Nicely done. Nice fun. That one I don't mind, actually, from you, Asarai.
Thank you.
There they are.
Yeah, but it is as you said, right? They're playing global esports at their own game, and it seems to be working. But there's 4 big rounds. You know that those rounds can give global all of what they need to push into that one ability to just get that dub. And yeah, you said it already. Golu, also known as Lightning Fast, also going to be playing here in mid, the sneaky beaky spot, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make this work or somebody will flush him out. Either way, let's see.
This could be disastrous here for Damwon if they're not able to find him, if he's continuing to remain and do this. SK Rossi finds the pick as Golu finds another here. Secret, he was holding the angle but still gets caught off guard. Eugene, almost a second too late. He does get that down, and Texture is able to get the trade off here. 2v3. Still an opportunity for Damwon to stay alive in map number 1, but it's going to be very difficult, especially with SK Rossi still up online with that operator. You're going to have to play together. Dash is up online for Texture, but what will it really matter? 30 seconds left on the clock. They have to pick a site. It seems like they're going for the C site, maybe trying to go through Garage, where SK Rossi is waiting for them at the perfect opportunity. As soon as they peek out of Garage and into the C site, they're going to have to deal with a sniper at the gates, and that is going to be SK Rossi himself. Can they actually force him out here? He has a dash to maybe shake things up, but they have very little time to work with.
13 seconds is not a whole chunk, and you know, SK Rossi, he's used the ability that all Asian mothers want to have. It's the wash dish. Yeah, that's denied it. That's going to be in GG. Oh, no,
GG.
No time. There's 3 people.
No way.
No scope.
No way.